Hello and welcome to VuTalk, a podcast brought to you by VuWall. I'm your host, Michelle Dawn Mooney, and today we're talking about the road to GSX. A lot of excitement here, and we have a great guest to talk about it. Nick Mathis is Director of Business Development for VuWall. Nick, thank you so much for being with me today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. Hi, Michelle.
Looking forward to this conversation, Nick. And when I said a lot of excitement, it really is exciting. So let's start off with this. What trends are you seeing in the market right now? As the year has progressed, have these trends matched up with expectations?
I think we're in a period where expectations have been all over the place, both with AI and new types of computing coming to the forefront, and also different trends in the way that people approach work, in office versus remote, different formations of teams. So we're in sort of an exploratory phase where all of these things are coalescing to design or to define new workflows and new sorts of approaches to security management, both on a small scale and a large scale. So at a show like GSX, you see a lot of people exploring different ways that this can take place, and how a lot of different technologies, might push groups further one way or another way.
GSX 2023 is a significant event for the security industry. How is VuWall gearing up for this event, and what can attendees expect to see that maybe hasn't been seen at GSX before?
Yeah, this is a neat show for us. We actually partner with a number of manufacturers in a larger booth hosted by InfraGard, which is a federal outreach group. And so there's us, there's groups that do alert management, a smart building access control, recording and playback of video within a secure environment. So all of these different technologies normally are presented on their own, but GSX is a neat show where we show all of them working together and sort of show a lot of best practices that can go into a security operations center rather than just individual Lego pieces, so to speak, of those spaces.
Yeah, and it's about collaboration and integration, really crucial in control room setup. So how does VuWall approach these aspects, and then how will it be showcased at GSX 2023?
Yeah, collaboration is huge in security, and in the past this has been harder to do. One neat thing that we're doing going forward is leveraging a lot of video over IP. So even up until a few years ago, a lot of video that was brought into control rooms was done over CCTV, over coaxial cables and digital video cables. But now nearly everything is IP, and that gives us a lot of flexibility for creating custom ways to view content, both on a larger video wall, but also at a user level, putting unique content in front of every user or shifting it from one desk to another as people need to cooperate.
Yeah, and I would think that, every scenario is different. There's not just one size fits all for that. So a lot of details go into that. How does the security market at GSX differ from the audiences typically found at shows like ISC and Infocom in terms of industry focus? And then a follow-up to that, how do your conversations at the shows differ?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's a lot of the same people. There's people that really care about pixels. There's people that really care about audio, like you'd see at a show like ISC or Infocom. But at GSX, we have the luxury of being able to expect where every conversation is going to go. Everything is going to be security related. And whether that's talking with a company that does paging and loudspeaker installations, or whether it's someone that does access control systems or cameras, there's a lot of different sorts of conversations you can have, but what the end goal is for everyone that's there. So when someone approaches, as another technology company or an integration partner or an end user, you already have a bit of context going into that conversation.
The security industry places a premium on data privacy and protection, as it should. So how does VuWall address the unique cybersecurity concerns of the security industry?
That's a tough question to answer because of that word unique, right? Every company and every situation is different. So sometimes we do best when we can have access to all of their video because we were able to arrange it all beautifully onto a video wall. But sometimes they say, we're only going to give you 2 video streams at a time. Or, you need to put these network steps in place, or, you need to work with these teams and pass things through optical isolation to air gap networks. There's a lot of different sorts of approaches that companies take based on their risk assessment and their workflows to achieve a secure video environment within a security operations center. And we just need to be prepared to have every one of those conversations. And if we don't have the right answers at the show or within our company, we have connections elsewhere that do have those that we're able to leverage.
A lot to look forward to this year. What are some exciting highlights that attendees can look forward to when they visit VuWall's booth at GSX 2023? And are there any interactive demonstrations or maybe presentations that really shouldn't be missed?
Absolutely. So the booth that we have with these other manufacturers will have a large console and a video wall and a lot of other technology working together. And we'll be able to bring users to that console and get them hands-on with a best practices security operations center. The main technology that VuWall will be highlighting is what we call PAC KVM. And it's the ability of our video wall nodes, which is the way that we deliver video to a video wall, to also provide USB feedback to sources. So in the past, KVM, which is keyboard and video mouse remote control of computers, has been an entirely separate system from video and from audio when all of these signals traveled through different pipes. But now that everything is IP, we're able to use that same piece of hardware as sort of a little Swiss Army knife to do everything. And it can really simplify system architecture, reduce costs, increase flexibility, and just overall make spaces a lot more approachable at a small scale and at a large scale.
I'm glad you brought up PAC KVM. Can you elaborate on the new feature introduced in version 3.5 of the TRX centralized management platform? And then how does this feature enhance the overall capabilities of the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. One neat thing about our video wall equipment now, as I've mentioned, is it's all video over IP. And we're still in a phase where we're sort of in the wild west of video over IP. We keep finding new ways that we can use technology. And it's not, adding new chips to things. It's simply firmware updates. So in this case, with version 3.5 of our firmware, we've added PAC KVM, which is the ability of these decoder nodes that can already pull down dozens of IP video streams per node on a video wall to also pass back USB control to the sources that have USB connections at a source level. So whether it's computers running something like a VNC or a screen scraping application, or an encoded source that has USB, someone at a video wall, whether it's a larger group situational awareness wall or at a personal video wall at a console, can have a mouse and keyboard hooked up. And wherever that mouse goes on that display surface, USB control flows with it. So that means you don't need to have 3 or 4 sets of mice and keyboard on the desk anymore that can complicate workflows. It also means that you can take your mouse and go straight up to the video wall and dismiss an alert or scroll down on a dashboard or do whatever you need to do as simply as possible without extra clutter and extra steps in routing.
What benefits does the integration of the VuStream 350 IP KVM encoder bring to the VuWall ecosystem? And then how does this encoder really enhance the quality of video transmission and user interactions?
Yeah, absolutely. So their video encoders are nothing new. VuWall has video encoders, and there's a lot of companies that do, but these typically only take a digital video, something like an HDMI, and turn it into an IP stream that we can then leverage on a number of destinations like video walls or individual displays. Having an encoder with a USB connection like the VuStream 350 means that not only can you grab video from that computer, but then an enabled system like our PAC video walls with the KVM feature can then pass back USB communication to that computer securely so that you're able to control that machine and many others using a single mouse and keyboard from a video wall. And while you can do this with something like a remote desktop or a VNC software running on that computer, a lot of different users have restrictions on what types of software can run on machines. And those software also tax a CPU that might already be busy doing more important security related things. So to be able to completely offload that to a separate piece of hardware reduces the risk of something going wrong on that server that's already thinking about security rather than video.
Any final thoughts here, Nick, as we're wrapping up?
No, I think GSX is going to be a great show. It's exciting every single year. And as we move forward, what people suggest in terms of work automation, the ways that AI can help in secure environments, the ways that we can talk about cybersecurity as an industry over standards, rather than on a case-by-case basis. This show is one of those times every year where all of those take a giant leap forward. So it's going to be exciting to see.
Absolutely. Nick Mathis, Director, Business Development for VuWall. Nick, appreciate your time. And I mentioned excitement in the beginning of the podcast, and clearly we know why. So exciting things happening, and have the best time ever, and exciting to see where the future will take VuWall after this show, and see what's ahead. And I'm sure our listeners are excited to hear what's going on in the future as well. So appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle.
And I want to thank you all for tuning in to VuTalk. It is a podcast brought to you by VuWall. And of course, you can visit VuWall.com. That's VuWall.com for more information and great conversations from this podcast. Be sure to subscribe. We'd love to have you join us on the next podcast episode. I'm your host, Michelle Dawn Mooney. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you soon.